Hello, today I'm going to do a review of a knife, and it's a Tac Force Speedster model assisted opening knife. Now, I wanted to get a new knife, and I'd like to get something like a Benchmade Griptilian, but unfortunately the one that I like costs over $100. And if you've watched any of my videos at all, you know that I suffer from a severe cash flow problem, so I can't afford something like that. So I went on Amazon and I found this Tac Force knife right here. Now here's the box that it comes in. It says Tac Force. This is their Speedster line, which means it's an assisted opening knife. It says Tactical Rescue Outdoor, and those are some of the uses for it, I guess. And on the back here, there's a warning. It says this knife is extremely sharp edge. Be careful with it. Blah blah blah. And it's up to you to check out all the local knife laws in your area, and I'll talk more about that later. Now, the knife itself is about 4.5 inches closed. It has plastic handles. It's like a kind of a forest camouflage color or hunting camouflage color. It has a stainless steel pocket clip and a stainless steel blade. And this is an assisted opening knife. And what that means is if you see this little black jobby down here by my finger, the way you open it is you just take your finger and you just move that a little bit and she pops right open. Now, this is not like some people might want to call it a switchblade in my opinion. It's an assisted opening knife, but I'll get into that a little bit later also. It's a partially serrated blade. It's about half, a little less than half serrated by the handle, and then the rest is a normal blade. It's not real super heavy because of the plastic handle, so I think it's, the weight is pretty good on it. The handle is pretty well made. It fits. I got some pretty big ass hands, and it fits pretty nicely in my hand. There's little ridges up here where you can get a grip with your thumb, and you see my whole hand fits on the handle, so you can get some pretty good leverage with it. What I paid for this was about, with the shipping, it was about $16. So it's not a lot of money. And of course, it's made in China, like most things today. It's supposedly designed in the U.S. and made in China, and that's why it's only. I would imagine that's why it's only $16. I would say for the price you're paying, it's a pretty nice knife. It's very sharp. I haven't run my finger on it to test the sharpness, but I can tell by looking at it that it's very sharp. I like the looks of it. I like the color, the camouflage pattern. I did notice in someone else's review, another guy, he bought several of these, and he says the camouflage pattern on each one is different. They're not all identical, so that's kind of cool. So you won't have one identical to somebody else's. They're all different. Overall, I find it to be a very nice knife. I like the size, the look of it. I like the assisted opening. It's kind of cool. You may be wondering, well, what's the purpose of assisted opening that you can open it with one hand? Well, I think that is so, like, if you're in a situation where you can only get at your knife with one hand, like if you're trapped in an automobile wreck and your seatbelt is jammed on you and you can only get at your knife with one hand, well, you can get your knife open, you can cut yourself out of there and get out of there. So I do see a practical purpose for this assisted opening. And I don't know if you can see that, it's a liner lock knife. I find the lock to be secure. I don't have any worries that it's going to go close on me or anything like that. Now a little word about knife laws. Knife laws seem to be different in every country and in every state within the individual countries. I live in the United States and in Wisconsin specifically, and I looked up my knife laws, and it says you can have any knife in Wisconsin except a switchblade, a butterfly knife, or a gravity knife. Now, a switchblade to me means that you push a button and a blade pops out. That to me is a switchblade. Now, this to me is an assisted opening knife. Although I have seen some people refer to these as switchblades. There was a, excuse me, there was a video where a lawyer in California was talking about the different types of knives, and he categorized assisted opening as switchblades. Now, I don't know whether in the eyes of the law, if that's how they look at them or not. So if you know a little bit more about that than I do, if you have ever been searched by police and you had one of these on you and they said it was a switchblade or whatever, I'd like to hear about it. So I'd like to have you comment in the comments section whether or not this is considered legally considered a switchblade or not. I have no fears about carrying this. I'll carry this everywhere I go. However, I will not take this out in public and flip the blade out or show it off or anything like that, because I don't want to get any unnecessary attention. It's just basically a knife for my own use when I need one, and not to show off to people. I don't really have any reason to do that. So I would say before you buy this, though, especially if you're in a foreign country other than the United States, or even in other states other than Wisconsin or whatever, I would definitely look at your knife laws and see whether this is legal to have or not. I know there was a video on where a guy from Australia, he said he bought a couple Benchmade knives from the U.S., and when they came through customs, he got the box, and the box was empty, and there was a letter inside saying that those were illegal to import into Australia, and they seized them, and they said that they were going to destroy them. And they said that he could try to get a permit for these knives, and he tried that, and they basically told him there's no way we're going to give you a permit for these knives. These are banned from importation, so don't even try. So basically, he's out what he paid for the knives, and they're going to destroy them. So if you think your laws are similar, you may look into that before buying one of these. Other than that, I think it's a really nice knife. It's probably really good for like everyday carry. It's good for camping, hiking, hunting, maybe to keep in your car in case you need a knife in emergency. It's you really can't go wrong for the price. I really think it's a nice knife. It looks somewhat similar to a Griptilian, although for what you're paying for a Griptilian, you could probably buy like 7 or 8 of these. So check it out. It's a TAC Force knife, TACFORCE Speedster. TAC Force makes a full line of knives with different types of handles. Some have metal handles, some have plastic, some are camo, some are solid color. They make what they call rescue knives, where they have like a little notch in here with like a sharp blade where you can cut a seatbelt cutter, or they have a little metal pointy thing on the end, a glass breaker, so you can break out a windshield or a window to get somebody out of a car. If that's something you'd like to keep in your car, that's something to consider too. But overall, I'm very happy with this knife. I rate it highly. And especially for a low cost of $16, I really don't think you can go wrong. So as always, comment, rate, and subscribe. Let me know about knife laws and whether you think this is considered a switchblade or not. I'd really like some people's opinions on that. And as always, thanks for watching my videos.